Narito here. I'm an actor and performer born and raised in Los Angeles. Some of you may recognize me as Donkey Doug from NBC's The Good Place. And yes, this is my real voice. And I'd like to give a very special shout out to the NRW, Nerds Rule the World, for giving me a chance to talk about Ghostrunner on the PS5. I was lucky enough to get my hands on a copy through my man Kuya P, aka Patrick Michael Strange, and the NRW crew. Thanks for trusting me with this review, y'all. But enough about me, let's talk about this game. Here's a little background on the video game. Ghostrunner is what is described as a first-person cyberpunk parkour action game from publisher 505 Games, alongside developers and partners, all in-games, one more level, 3D realms, and Slipgate Ironworks with a soundtrack from Daniel Deluxe. This game was first released in 2020 on Windows, Xbox One, PS4, and later in the year, the Nintendo Switch. And an upgraded version for the next-gen consoles was released pretty recently. In addition to story mode, the PS5 version includes a few different modes such as assist mode, which allows you to control things like how long your cooldown lasts and how many lives you have. There's kill run mode, which puts you on a timer and you have to kill enemies to gain extra time. And wave mode, where enemies come at you in, you guessed it, waves.
Prisoner threat
In
level
this game,
extremely high.
you play as a badass cybernetic ninja or Ghostrunner named Jack. Some sort of cataclysmic event has wiped out a good portion of humanity, and the game opens up with you climbing up the Dharma Tower in the post-apocalyptic Dharma City. When you reach the top floor of the building, you find the man who created you being attacked by Mara, the Keymaster. I think the best way to describe Mara would
Prisoner
be
released.
like a female Dr. Arnold. A battle ensues where you try to save your creator, but in the midst of fighting, the Keymaster grabs you in midair, cuts off your arm, and throws you out the window to your death. But you don't die. Right? Who could have seen that coming?
Pleasure to meet you.
Instead, you wake
Face
up with
to
no
face, that
memories,
is.
your arm has been
Now,
replaced with
let's take a
quote-unquote
look
spare parts,
inside.
and you hear a voice in your head
This
of an
may
old
feel
man
a
named the
little
Architect.
strange.
We find out that the Ghostrunners were super soldiers who were created to keep the peace. But the Keymaster betrayed the Architect and pretty much wiped out all of the Ghostrunners. Your mission is
Welcome
to
to
defeat the
Cyberboy.
Keymaster,
to
restore
fix you
order,
up.
and save the residents
talk
living
here,
in
by the
Dharma
way.
Tower. Like in most games, you start off learning the basics. You figure out how to run along walls, slide under things and down slopes, dash, enter a bullet time where you can dodge projectiles and change directions in the air, and attack. Later on in the game, you pick up other mobility techniques, like a grapple, which allows you to hook onto specific points in the map, and other special powers, like sword attacks, deflecting moves, the ability to hack things, and you can also find other cool power-ups, like stuff that increases the amount of time you can slow time down, and shurikens, because what ninja game is complete without ninja stars?
Yes.
Stages are broken
Your
up into two
bodyguards,
types,
peacekeepers,
platforming and fighting.
arbitrators.
For the platforming
Anything
areas,
else we
things
needed
are
you
pretty
to be?
linear, but there
You
are a
tried to
variety
stop
of
the
ways
coup.
that the game keeps things
There was
fresh.
a woman.
The name's
For example,
Mara,
at one point
or
you'll
the
encounter grind
Keymaster,
rails, which help you
as she
zip
calls
down
herself
and
now.
navigate the map.
20 years ago,
At another
she
point,
stood
you can hop
against
from
me.
airdrome
It
to
was you I
airdrome
was
to get
trying
to the
to
next
save.
objective.
You failed.
Pretty much, once
I
you've mastered one technique,
died.
the game will throw in
My
a new
body
mechanic or a
anyway.
different type of enemy for you
Thanks
to
to
deal
the
with.
precautions I had
Enemies
taken,
start
I'm
with
still
single-shot
here,
pistols,
although this
then you'll
form has
encounter
its
dudes with machine
limitations.
guns who force you
Are
to
you
keep
an
moving.
AI?
You could
After
say
these
that.
guys, there are
You
soldiers
could
with
also
shields
say
who you
Dharma
have to
Tower
attack from
is a
behind,
skyscraper.
and then you run into a variety of
Technically correct.
robots. In addition to this, there are many other things like
Humanity's home,
shield batteries
a
you have to take out
megastructure
before you
that
can
once
effectively
housed
kill an
a
enemy.
million.
Mostly
been under
everything
my
in this
care
game is
since its
fast-paced,
creation.
even the
Almost a
deaths.
century ago,
Enemies can kill you in
I
one
served
hit,
the
so you
people,
definitely
kept them
need to
safe,
plan accordingly.
maintained
But that
shelter
rule
and
also goes
fight.
both ways.
But Mara
Enemies
had
go
her
down
own
with a
plan.
single well-placed swing
She
of the
became
sword.
the sole ruler.
The movement in
of
Ghostrunner
Dharma
reminds me a lot of
ruining
Mirror's
what I've
Edge,
built,
the first-person
bringing us
platformer
back to
that
the
was
verge of
an
extinction.
old-school PlayStation favorite. Or Titanfall, when you get blasted out of your mech. I was worried about getting motion sickness or a headache because I've experienced that with past games, but I never really experienced that with any of
Why can't
this.
this place be
It was actually really smooth
it's
for the whole
perfectly
time.
normal.
Ghostrunner for
Each
sure
unit has
tests your
become
reflexes, ability to
incompatible.
think on your feet, and
The
certainly your
incompetent
patience.
repairs you were subjected
For the
to
fighting areas,
made you divergent.
maps are designed with multiple
no longer
paths.
function
There
like a
aren't
Ghostrunner
any
is
set paths when
supposed
you're
to.
fighting, so you have a lot more
changed that?
control with regards to how you want to take on
Who
enemies.
repaired me?
Taking
That would
all
be the
these factors
climbers,
into mind,
a group
the
of
game never
rebels
feels
that tried
repetitive,
to
and you're
oppose
always
Mara.
discovering something new.
Where?
In Ghostrunner, there is an upgrade system. As you progress through the game, you'll learn more about it. The system consists of a power grid where you can place Tetris-like pieces and unlock added perks. The further you get into the game, more of the power grid is unlocked, and you can customize your character to best suit your playstyle. I used a lot of the perks that allowed me to do abilities multiple times. Who doesn't want to be able to dash through enemies and deflect bullets at the same time over and over? Not this guy. Now, let's talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. First up,
We
the
both
good.
were, you and I.
Graphically, this game is
Who was
very
she?
nice to look at.
Was
However,
a
I
dear
don't know if the
friend,
upgrade uses the PS5
partner,
capabilities to their full potential.
brilliant
But
scientist.
I'm not mad at it.
Who is
Next
she
up,
now?
we've
Is the
got
question
controls.
You should be
When the
asking.
controls are responding the
And
right way, it's
you would
really
like
good.
the answer.
I dare say
No
it's
one
first-person
among the people of
platforming
Dharma
at its
Tower
finest.
would.
It's super
I need
fun,
more
and you
answers.
really
And
get
you
the
will
feel of
get
being a
them.
ninja assassin slicing and
Now,
dicing his way
trust
through
me,
enemies.
The
Pile on a
Kingmaster is
great
your
sounding
enemy
synth
and a
soundtrack with
tyrant.
excellent voice acting, and it's really, really easy to get immersed into this world. Most of the exposition of the story happens in the main character's head. You can stop and listen to what's going on, or you can keep up the pace and just speed through stages. Next up, we have the bad. The main campaign can be completed in about 6 to 8 hours.
Mara, of
It's pretty
course.
short and
To be
sweet.
able to do
There
that,
isn't a
you'll
lot
have to
there.
relearn a
But
few
with the new
things
modes
and
included in the
tweak
PS5
your
version,
performance.
you'll be able to get some
First,
replay value
jump.
out of the game.
We need to get back.
There are also
It's
collectibles
much
you can
quicker
find
this
in-game
way.
that provide more backstory and allow you to customize the look of your character. I myself rarely platinum games, so I took this game at face value. Lastly, we have the ugly. I don't really have a lot of bad things to say about the game. It's really enjoyable. However, sometimes the movement mechanics just aren't there. You'll be trying to mantle up onto something and the character just won't catch and you'll end up falling to your death. Couple this with one-hit kills that you may not see coming and it can get super frustrating. So at this point you might be asking yourself, alright Mitch, so how's the game? What would you rate it? What's your final verdict? Well, here we go. This is what I'm going to tell you. After all things are said and done, this game is solid. Just know that you will die a lot, and I mean like hundreds of times, maybe thousands. With instant respawns and constant checkpoints though, you can power through the game. The game can be extremely challenging at times, but when you do clear a level, you do get that immense feeling of satisfaction. Lastly, I do feel that the PS5 upgrade focused mostly on the upscaling of graphics and didn't really incorporate the new PS5 tech. All in all though, I'd rate this game an 8 out of 10. Well, there you have it folks. Once again, I want to thank Kuya P and the NRW crew for giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts on this game with you all. But like they used to say on Reading Rainbow, you don't have to take my word for it. Thanks again for watching, and be sure to hit that like and subscribe button.